I'm oiling as I go here, and this is a solid body machine without many covers to remove, but there is this fancy screw top which holds the spool pin, and got to get that open because that is the spot where we can oil the upper crank link on the arm here. And this machine was stiff and loosening and still had a stiff spot, which is loosening now even as I rotate it slowly, just because it finally has a little bit of oil in that top location. So if you got one of these, make sure you get this cover off so you can get oil in on this top end of this crank rod. Okay, time to reinstall the bobbin cover on this Montgomery Ward Model 30. When I grabbed it or started, this cover was bent at the pivot corner here so that it was not sitting flat. So I removed it and I flattened it out, and now when it goes in place, which I gotta get it to sit on the notch here, it actually sits flat on the bed of the machine. But I gotta put our pivot back in. So there's the button that goes through from the top, and that piece goes in, and now someone gouged up the slot in this screw, but I'm gonna push in and try to rotate this. There we go, and that got it to slide in place. And then we've got a pair of tension washers that are dished, and you need to assemble them so that the dishes face each other to create a spring action. If you match the dishes so that they sit as flat as possible, they won't have as much spring action. So face the dishes to each other, and then this is got a 5/16 nut on it, which happens to be close to 8mm. So if I get this nut in place, unfortunately with the bunged up screw head in there, it makes it a little harder to get this to tighten on, but there we go. So there, get it tightened against the shoulder on that screw. Once it's tightened, okay, that's back in place, and then I'll need to put our hook back in. I took the hook out to clean the hook and bobbin carrier. So we got our Alright, we have our bobbin case carrier that needs to go in, and it's got tab on the top that needs to go in a notch on this top bracket, and I don't know how well you can see that. I'm gonna figure something else out for this. Alright, so into the hook we've got the carrier, and that needs to slip in with this tab, needs to go into a slot in this bumper bracket, and then the edge needs to go into the groove in the there. Okay. Got to orient it with the hook up top to get this inserted so that we can slip the carrier in to the groove on the side, match the tab on the top, and then there's a spacer bracket and the hook guard here, and now these two screws go in. Get one started with a thread, the other one inserted. Go. Now with both of these in, we can tighten them evenly. There. Now the carrier is in place, and we'll be able to fit our bobbin case for sewing. Alright. The Model 30 has the forward and reverse, so this a tug. Alright, we're not getting any loose on the bottom, so that's good. I am getting a bit more blue on top, so we're pulling a little bit tight. Luckily the tensioner adjusts the same as any other machine, even though it's got that pulley style tensioner. I did replace the rubber. There we go. That stitch is a bit more even. When I pull it up in the middle, we get our two colors of thread. Say this machine is all set, I'm going to do a little bit more, a tinier clean and adjustment on the drive tire, but part of the reason this machine originally had the slight cone for the drive tire is because you're constantly adjusting non-sprung motors like this. So even if I adjust it now for sewing, if this sits for any amount of time, it may need to have the drive tire slid sideways to get pressure on the hand wheel again. So I think this is good to go, and hopefully it will provide great entertainment at the little sewing machine museum that will hopefully be opening near me soon.